the big news on Monday was the return of Eric Bieniemy. And I think a lot of Chiefs fans were excited to see this. And I think it's safe to say a lot of the guys on the team, players, coaches, staff members were excited as well. As you can see here, he's walking alongside Damian Williams, former Chiefs Super Bowl hero, and was greeted by a lot of the other assistant coaches and staff members on the field. At one point, Joe Cullen, the defensive line coach, during team drills, goes over just to give him a high five here. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but everyone was happy to see EB back. And as nice as that honeymoon phase was of everyone hugging him, greeting him back, EB quickly put that in the rearview mirror. And I'll give you a couple of examples here, because EB got after the players, did not waste any time. There was one point when it was just offense only. They were taking too long in the huddle. EB got after them for that. And then there were a couple of other occasions, and this is not anything, rare or uncommon, but there were a couple of times today in practice where EB did not like what he saw from the team, and he had the offense go out there and redo a certain play, wanted to give them basically a second chance and make it better. And listen, we saw Andy Reid do that once in practice this year, but Bieniemy did it, I want to say 2 or 3 times. He was getting after it with the players. This practice was different, and I'll explain why a little later here. But just with everything I watched today, I am comfortable telling you right now that today's practice, August 10th, Day 11 of Chiefs training camp, was the best and the most synced the offense looked. Now, we didn't get a lot of deep pass touchdown throws from Mahomes to the receivers. We did get one, and I'll show that a little later on. But the offense just looked in sync today. There was a lot of red zone work today, a lot of different stuff from the Chiefs offense. But what I just noticed was the Chiefs offense was in uniform. At least the most they have looked in training camp so far this year. And that was pleasant to see. It's the best practice the Chiefs offense has had, in my opinion. And I don't think that is any coincidence that it comes on the same day Eric Bieniemy comes back. Before I go any further, I want to play this clip for you. Actually, you'll see a couple of clips playing back to back. You're going to see Eric Bieniemy going after some guys. If you're not in a public place, if you're alone, I do recommend turning up the volume. There might be some NSFW language in here, but just listen to this for the next 40 seconds. So you heard it all right there. It doesn't matter if you are the greatest tight end of all time. It doesn't matter if you are the reigning Super Bowl MVP as a running back. And we all know EB's got a soft spot for running backs, given he was once a running backs coach or once a running back himself. But doesn't matter, man. He's going after everyone. Got after Mahomes for taking a little too long in the huddle there for an offense-only drill. There's no exceptions here. There was one point in practice today where both Eric Bieniemy and Chad O'Shea, the wide receivers coach, they were both getting after someone. I couldn't tell if they were both shouting at the same guy or two different guys. But man, that was a nice breath of fresh air. We have coaching. We have accountability on this team right now. Look, let me just give you guys my background on this here, because I've been attending some training camp practices for the last couple of years now. Went to a lot of them last year. Been going to all of them except for one this year because I thought it was going to rain out. Look, I'm just going to say this right now. This was by far the most different practice I've seen, because this is my first time ever seeing Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator in a practice at training camp. Now, I saw him in mandatory minicamp once this year when they allowed some season ticket holders to get in. But the intensity is far different in OTAs and mandatory minicamp compared to training camp. And I still, felt EB's intensity back in June when I got to watch that mandatory minicamp practice. But today was different. And the reason I'm saying today is different, if you never watch football at all and you did not know that Eric Bieniemy was returning today, you had no idea what was going on with his personal life in the last couple of weeks. If this was your first time going to a Chiefs practice, you were definitely going to notice Eric Bieniemy. His presence was going to be felt. His voice was going to be heard loud and clear. Unless you are on the far other side of the training complex, you heard Eric Bieniemy loud and clear. This guy was not messing around today. And look, I know the Chiefs have moved on from Matt Nagy, and we don't want to revert back and just dwell on the past, but I've got to bring this up. Whenever I attended a training camp practice last year, Matt Nagy was, of course, the offensive coordinator. I did not notice Nagy several times. Now, I will say this. Mahomes ends every practice by jogging back and forth a couple times, and Nagy would jog alongside with him, and that's honestly the only time I'd ever noticed Nagy. Today, I never noticed Nagy in previous practices that I attended. If you told me, because a lot of these guys are wearing, a hat, sometimes even a bucket hat, they might have a towel around their neck. If you told me, hey, everyone can point out Andy Reid, Big Red. But if you told me, hey, point out Matt Nagy, it would have taken me a while to find him. I can point out Chad O'Shea. That guy's getting after his receivers. I can point out Eric Bieniemy. He is loud and clear going after his guys. This was a far different practice. And by the way, I remember back in January when the Bears lost, the Chiefs wasted no time getting Eric Bieniemy on their staff. And there was some pushback on this by some fans. And people thought, do we really want to bring back EB? And there's also that, that idea that EB and the Chiefs don't like each other. If that was the case, Andy Reid would not have brought back Bieniemy. And look, I know the Chiefs do a lot of these things with Mahomes' input. There's no way in hell they would have brought back EB if Mahomes was against it. There's a reason why Eric Bieniemy is back. And the debate that some Chiefs fans had back in January, man, I'm not trying to say that everything is fixed and solved in one practice, because it's not. This offense still has a lot of work to do. But the debate on whether or not the Chiefs should have brought back Eric Bieniemy, that debate went away quickly. Listen, in a world today, whether it's sports or non-sports, we love to disagree with one another. We just do. There was not a... Man, I took the time to read a lot of comments today. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone that's not thrilled about Eric Bieniemy being back. A lot of Chiefs fans loved what they saw today. Whether it's from any of my clips that I shared or from any of the other content creators or reporters who were there, people loved what they saw from Eric Bieniemy getting after guys. Again, it doesn't matter if you're an all-pro player or a rookie that's trying to make the team. Eric Bieniemy is getting after everybody. And this is something I did not see from Matt Nagy. And people have been asking, well, what does accountability mean? What happens if you were to bring back Bieniemy? This is, of course, before the Bieniemy rehire was official, but the reunion, people thought, is yelling at guys, is that considered accountability? Is that how you get guys to improve? Look at this graphic right here. I want to show this to you. You have the Chiefs and how they ranked in points scored and total offense. And then you also have Patrick Mahomes' numbers. And I color-coded these here, and you can tell the difference between Eric Bieniemy and Matt Nagy. Look at the statistical drop-off under Matt Nagy, not just with Patrick Mahomes, but with the entire team. This is not a coincidence, guys. This is not an accident. there was a serious drop off in the Chiefs offense, which is honestly embarrassing because, look, I actually thought Travis Kelce played much better last year. He had more yards and touchdowns off 21 fewer receptions. His yards per catch average went up. He was still top 5, top 6 among tight ends in receptions, yards after the catch. Patrick Mahomes was the MVP at the midway point of the season. But the Chiefs just could not hold it together all the way through the season. And I've been saying all year long, man, we have enough of a sample size. I'm not someone that likes to call someone a bust or likes to fire someone after, half the games are played. I think you got to give guys time. And I understand we're in a world with social media where patience does not exist among sports fans, but 3 years of data shows that losing Eric Bieniemy seriously had an impact. It really did. There's a reason why the Chiefs brought Eric Bieniemy back, and I'm very eager to see what this Chiefs offense looks like in week 1 when they play the Broncos on September the 14th. Because I think with Eric Bieniemy back and some other improvements on your coaching staff, DeMarco Murray, Chad O'Shea, I think you're going to see a team that is going to look much different offensively against, in my opinion, the best defense in the NFL we've seen the last 2 to 3 years.